Did you just get a job offer from Amazon, Meta, Google, Boeing, and you are not sure where you want to live in the greater Seattle area? Well, I'm going to suggest, first of all, consider not living in downtown Seattle. Check out my other video about 7 reasons that you might think the greater Seattle area is the worst. And check out my other videos that deep dive into different cities. But long story short, I would say consider the Eastside or Snohomish County for where you might want to live. And I want to share with you my screen, and I will show you some different areas to help you in your decision-making process. Okay, so let's say you want to be within about 30 minutes of Google. This is what it looks like on the map. So we have the ability to do a search based on the actual drive time at a certain time of day on a certain day. And obviously traffic changes. It sometimes is worse. It rains and people forget how to drive in the rain around here. It snows, who knows. But this is in general what it looks like. A 30-minute drive from to Google in Kirkland. And so if we go and we look at a 30-minute drive, we've got 39 homes that fit the following criteria. They're 1.3 million or less. They have at least 3 bedrooms, at least 1 3/4 baths, and as a reminder, each bit of a bathroom is worth, each plumbing fixture is worth $0.25. So a sink is $0.25, a bathtub is $0.25, a shower head is $0.25, and a toilet is $0.25. If you have dual sinks, that's not an extra $0.25, that's still a 5-piece full bath. All right, so at least 1 3/4 bathrooms. So the assumption would be that maybe you'd have a full bath with the tub, and then maybe off the primary bedroom you would have a bathroom that had a shower but not a tub. At least 1,500 square feet and at least 4,000 square foot lots. So this will probably eliminate a lot of townhomes. Now, if you are someone that wants to be in a very walkable area, then a townhome might be perfect for you because those tend to be closer to the shopping areas, etc. It's a whole different search, which is why if you're thinking about making a move, give me and the team a call and we'll help pinpoint where you might want to move to based on your needs. All right, so continuing on, what we see here are a variety of homes. What I want to show you over here is, you've heard me say something about the east side. So Lake Washington is what divides where we come up with the east side. It is on the east side of Lake Washington. So you've got Kirkland, Bellevue, Redmond, Google, Meta, and Microsoft here. You've also got Lake Sammamish over here. These are both lakes that you can do water skiing on, jet skiing, that kind of thing. We have a ton of lakes. I mean, just look around. Look at all these little lakes. But these are truly little lakes. You're not going to water ski on them. If anything, they may allow for electric motors. Sometimes you can have a dock with an electric motor that you kind of putt around, but you're not going to be water skiing. All right, so let's get back to it. So if you work in Kirkland, then you might be considering up in this area, and how you're going to get home is you're probably going to take 405, and then depending on where you live, you're going to go 522 or 405 or 522 over this direction. So let's zoom out a little bit. There's also this goes a little bit up into Highway 9, the Woodenville area. Now this is a 30-minute drive at 8:30 in the morning on a Monday. So if you're able to kind of change your schedule a little bit, then you may be able to go a little bit further out. So Alderwood Manor, this is where the shopping really is. So if you come over here, we have Alderwood Mall. Let's find it. It's right here is Alderwood Mall. This is where Alderwood Mall is. You've got Nordstrom's, Macy's, all sorts of restaurants, P.F. Chang's, Claim Jumper, things like that here. And actually, so I used to live over here. And my school was right over here, but now it's gone. They tore it down. Martha Lake's a really nice lake. This is Lake Serene over here. So there's a big variety of homes when you start looking at this. So I'm not going to go focus over here because that is outside of your 30-minute drive time. But if you're willing to do 35 or 40 minutes, then this area up here actually would work for you. Mill Creek especially, check out my videos on Mill Creek. It's a planned community. If you like the idea of a planned community, lots of sidewalks, there's a golf club there, then Mill Creek might be good for you. It just is going to be an extra, let's say, 5 or 10 minutes. So then down here, Canyon Park is kind of an industrial area. There's some pharmaceutical companies that are in the Canyon Park area. You've got University of Bothel, University of Washington, Bothell campus. This is where all the crows, probably not all the crows, but a huge amount of crows actually fly and roost overnight at the University of Washington Bothel campus. It's pretty impressive to see them flying back in the late afternoon, early evening. Oh, well, how could I forget to mention Woodenville. Woodenville is like the wine capital of the area. Chateau Ste. Michelle Winery is there. My husband and I actually got to see Stevie Wonder at Chateau Ste. Michelle, and it was amazing. Probably the best concert I've gone to besides Def Leppard at the Monroe Fairgrounds. But I mean, it was phenomenal. Stevie Wonder, come on. So down here, Woodenville has really blossomed into their main focus is wineries and people being able to go around and do wine tastings and things like that. If that is something you're into, you are going to love Woodenville. And they are actually building up the town right now. There's been a lot of improvements. It does get a little bit crowded in downtown, but there's a Target, there's a Barnes and Noble, Ulta. I mean, there's shopping, little mom and pops as well, and then the whole tourist district. Down here at 60 Acres Park, there's some pretty cool condos and things like that kind of in this area, and then in playing soccer and things like that. Marymore Park is really cool. That is where like Cirque du Soleil would come, Cavalier would come. They have all sorts of sports down there. They have concerts, comedy shows. It's really cool. They've got this off-leash dog park. If you live on the east side, this is a great spot to visit. Redmond itself, downtown Redmond, it is under construction. Like they're just building like crazy around there. Recently I had to go through there, get home, and oh my goodness, I did not recognize the roads, and it was dark and it felt scary. But yeah, they are definitely improving things. And then you've got Bridle Trails. So what's cool about Bridle Trails as neighborhoods go is that all their lots are large, and the idea is that you can ride your horses here. So like when you're driving around this area, you need to be careful because sometimes people are riding their horses actually on the road, which is pretty cool. Here, let's see if we can't go check out park. Oh look, and even right there, there's some meadow muffins, as we call them. So this is where you can ride your horse. So if you actually have a horse or dreams of having a horse, you might want to be close to here. Pro Club Bellevue, that is, at least for a time, I think it's open to everyone. This was really primarily for Microsoft. So then you've got the super expensive Yarrow Point, Hunts Point, Medina, Clyde Hill, Maidenbower Park. Actually, I was lucky enough to get to live right here for a few years back in 2010, and so it was pretty phenomenal. That was my grandparents' house. But the crazy thing is to get from here to over here during rush hour so that I could actually go show homes in Snohomish County, it would take me, and I'm not lying, it would take like 20 minutes to get through this area here. This is where Bellevue Square is. It's a very nice higher end mall. And then over here you've got Bravern, which is super high end mall. You've got Overlake Medical Center and whatnot over here. Long story short, Bellevue goes quite a ways. You know, this is around where Bill Gates lives and things like that. So stuff along here, of course, is going to be super expensive and not be in that $1.3 million range. Do a quick look. Now, one of the things you're going to notice about this area and a lot of Western Washington is all of the trees. And look at how many varieties of trees there actually are here. So you've got fir trees and you've got deciduous trees. So in the fall we get all sorts of colors, but then it stays green through the winter. So let us go back. So again, we're looking at what's 30 minutes to Google. Now, if you want to go over bridges, the 520 bridge actually has a toll, and that fluctuates based on the time of day and the amount of traffic on it. 90 is not a toll bridge, and 90 in general has a lot more laneage and tends to not get as crowded as 520 and even 405. So South Lake Union is the area of where Amazon is. So if you have one person that works at Amazon and the other person works over on the east side, you know, you can take your pick. Let's see, what is 750? Yeah, listed at 50% of the tax assessed value. 2-minute drive from the Google campus. So apparently Google has a campus also in Seattle. So wouldn't that be awesome if you both worked in Seattle? Now, if you do, I have friends that are in downtown Seattle that can totally help you. So just hit me up and I can get you connected. All right, why is this one listed at half the tax assessed value? They've got a bit of moss, that's not why. Just pointing that out. Well, anyway, back to where we were, because this is going to change. It's January 28th, 2024. These listings are all going to change. Mostly what I wanted you to see is that there is a variety of homes available. Now you'll notice that the closer you are to a place like Bellevue or Kirkland or Redmond, there's not that much to pick from. Let's see what this one is. This one's new on the market, just 5 days. 4-bed, 2-bath, 1,820 square feet. I wouldn't call it high-end. So that's kind of what you're looking at. Let's go up here. What's this one like? A little bit bigger. 5 days on the market. So you see, as we get a little bit further north, further away, your options increase. So let's look at this one. Now, oh, they had a big price drop. Check that out. All right, so here's something that I want to show you. Oh, this one. It's been around for a little while, and I always thought, well, that's sort of weird, this extra door. Anyway, don't get too tied up on the details. But what I want to show you is that if you reach out and we get you signed up with your own custom one home portal, then we can get into some cool things for you, which would be, we can go here, change the interest rate, we could change how much you're putting down. Maybe you've got some money, you can put down 30%. These are the actual property taxes. This seems really high for homeowners insurance, like really high. So I'm gonna go with, like, let's do $2,000 a year. I don't know, you should talk to your insurance agent. Okay, so that brings the monthly estimated cost to $66.09. One of the other things that you would have access to is that you could mark things with a heart. You could mark them with a thumbs down. You could compare them. So this is stuff that you can do in your own customized home portal, which we'd be happy to get set up for you. All right, so overall, within 30 minutes of Google, on the 28th, there are 39 homes that are priced at 1.3 or less. Now, if you can adjust your drive time, you'll have more to pick from. If you could do with 2 bedrooms, you'll have more to pick from. If you could survive with 1 bathroom, you'll have more to pick from. So we can actually dial this in for you. This is kind of what you're looking at. As far as, what do I want to say, like nightlife, things like that. If you are in this part of Bothel, you'll have more nightlife available to you than if you're in, say, Mill Creek, for example. Downtown Bothel is pretty cool. Let's see how recent their photos are. Well, that's not exciting. Let's get in there. This stuff here, that's all new. And so you've got all these apartments, but then on the lower level you've got retail. So this is the new downtown Bothel. Across the other way, let's see if we can come back over here, you have a dog park. They say temporarily closed on this, but I don't know, because last time I was there it was open. So you've got kayaking that you can do on the Snohomish River. There's so much to do in the area. So Bothel could be a really good fit for people that work in Seattle and the Eastside, because Bothel is right here with a major intersection of 522 and 405. And so 405 is how you get to the Eastside, like Redmond, Kirkland. So 520 is where you hit up Redmond. But if you live in Bothel and someone works in Seattle, then you can take 522 this way and then decide whether you want to hook up into I-5 depending on the traffic patterns. Let me see if we've got traffic available here. We don't. But now you can see all the different parks that are available to you. I love it here. And I think some people will love it here. But of course, remember what I said in my other video, states are like dates and houses are like spouses. What's right for one person isn't necessarily right for another. So we also have 30 minutes to Boeing and Everett, and this is completely different. We've got 125 results that are 1.3 or less, and you can see that there's just a ton of homes to pick from, and some of them are quite affordable. Let's look at this. Looks like they have a nice backyard over there. So, downtown Snohomish has a really awesome antique, it's like just antique shops galore, little local food places, everything from sandwich shop on up to very fine dining. And then you've got the aquatic center. In the summer, there is a farmer's market down here. You can see there's all sorts of rivers or creeks and things like that. There is a lot of water here in Washington. You've probably heard tell. So Snohomish is really good for someone that wants a slower pace, walkability. Like if you live on the letter streets, we call them the letter streets, and you can see why, because they're lettered. And this is where a lot of the really old Victorians are. Check that out. So I'll be doing a deep dive into downtown Snohomish in future videos. So as time goes on, look for those as we go along. But it's pretty old time, small town type feeling. Let's go back and look at first, and you can see some of the restaurants and whatnot. So like Fred's Ale House, really awesome sandwiches, Todo Mexico, great tacos, Now over here down below is where the river is. Oh, Proper Joe, love their coffee, fantastic. So anyway, this is why if you live on a lettered street, so here we're on First, you can go up to Second, and then there's more more retail here, Furniture World, and this is a quilting place. If you live on one of these letter streets, then you don't have that far to go, although I'll tell you, it's pretty hilly, so keep that in mind. Let's go back. So I would say Snohomish is old-time small town. If you get out to the Three Lakes, Flowing Lake area, that's more country. Lake Rosiger, really country. Lake Stevens, there is a lot of shopping right nearby. So like right here, you've got Target. So you've got a Target right there. And then you've got Lake Stevens, and it's really quite beautiful. Let's see if we can't, okay, we can't see anything, so we're gonna stop on that. You might like Lake Stevens if you work in Everett, because you can just scoot on over, take Highway 2. It does get bad traffic. This is also known as the Trestle. You could take Highway 2 across over into Everett. If you are working at the new Amazon Fulfillment Center, Lake Stevens could be a good option. Overall, they have a good school district. I would recommend, of course, checking each school. One of the other things that you get when you sign up through us to do a one-home portal, you can actually try setting up some boundaries. So let's say you know what elementary school you want. You put in the boundaries, and now you can see which area is served by which elementary school, and you can do that for all the schools. Keep in mind that this is actually really important. If you live on the other side of a boundary, you are not guaranteed to be able to waiver in to the other school district. So don't think that just because you're just on the other side of the line, you're going to be able to send your child to that other school. That's not a given. Sometimes when there is enough space, they'll go ahead and let you waiver in, or if there's a compelling enough reason. But don't make a decision based on something that you don't control, and you do not control if the school district is going to approve your child's waiver into that school. So that's very important to keep in mind if the school choice is important to you. And so I'll get rid of that. All right, one other place I want to talk about, especially if I've kind of gone off topic and I know it. We'll dive deeper with shorter videos in the future. If you work in Everett, you may want to consider Camino Island. It does take about 30 to 40 minutes to go from here down to there, so keep that in mind. It's quite the drive, but if you are up here, it's not that bad. This is actually in Island County, which is funny because it really feels like it's Snohomish County, but if we back up, you've got Whidbey Island across the way, and this is part of Island County. So this one, you just drive across a bridge. There's no ferry involved. If you want to get to Whidbey, you're going to have to take a ferry. Also keep in mind that the naval base is in Oak Harbor. Is it naval? Yep, it is naval. I knew what I was talking about. So keep in mind that if you consider living in Oak Harbor, they should be giving you a disclosure about the noise of the growlers. My husband and I went and stayed in near Deception Pass State Park, and initially it was so exciting because the growlers were so low and you could like see that there's a guy in the cockpit. And so we were like, this is so exciting, and it's like rumbling in our chest. And then it was still going at midnight. It wasn't so exciting anymore. It was quite annoying, actually, and very stressful. And so if you're sensitive to noises and things like that, that may not be the best spot. You have to see where their flight patterns are and whatnot. Anyway, going back to, if you are working at Boeing in Everett, you have quite a number of options available to you. Like, look at this. It's a nice covered area. All of this is to say, there is a plethora of options here, and we would love to help you figure out which is a good fit for you. So be sure to reach out. Check out my other videos where I deep dive into different towns. This one got long. If you made it this far, kudos. Till I get to talk to you, take good care. Bye-bye.